Documentary about the events that led to the overthrow of Kwame Nkrumah. My brother, my sister, in 1966. And they titled it The Fall of Kwame Nkrumah from the BBC World Service. My brother, my sister, I need you to come along. And it is a documentary that will shock you. I need you to come along. I will look at this very critically. This is the African history class.
Black Rasta! Run the rhythm! Run the rhythm! Run the rhythm, boy! Blessed!
And I'm so excited to be with you, my brother, my sister, and you know how we do it every time. We go straight into the class, and this is a documentary about Kwame Nkrumah. We might not be able to take the full length. It's a 15-minute documentary. But we have only about 11 minutes more to go. We will find time and complete it. You need to hear this. This is the African History Class Special Edition.
This is 3FM.
Hello and welcome to the Witness History podcast from the BBC World Service with me, Alex Last, with more first-hand accounts of events that shaped our world. And today we go back to February 1966, when in Ghana, one of Africa's most famous leaders, Kwame Nkrumah, was ousted from power.
This is 3FM.
The National Liberation Council has been appointed to run the affairs of the country with effect from today.
In 1966, the first leader of Ghana and one of the most prominent men in Africa, Kwame Nkrumah, was deposed while he was out of the country.
On Thursday, the 24th of February 1966, the Ghana Armed Forces, in cooperation with the Ghana Police Service, took over the reins of government of this country after a successful overthrow of the regime of Kwame Nkrumah in what may be truly described as one of the most historic and boldest ventures in the history of this country.
I find it very difficult to brush Nkrumah off my mind because I saw exactly what happened. Nkrumah knew that there are some powers working against him, so this could happen anytime, but when no one knew.
Chris Hesse is a legendary Ghanaian filmmaker. He was with Kwame Nkrumah when the coup happened, because in the 1950s and 60s he worked as the official cinematographer for the Ghanaian leader.
I saw myself as writing the history of Ghana on film. I cannot forget those days.
This is
Just under a decade earlier, in 1957, Kwame Nkrumah had led Ghana to independence, becoming the first African nation to free itself from European colonial rule.
We must change our attitudes, our minds. We must realize that from now on, we are no more a colonial, but a free and independent people.
Land of freedom.
Ghana's historic independence gave Nkrumah stature not just within Africa, but also on the global stage. Chris Hesse was by his side throughout his time in office and got to know him well.
I worked with him for 10 years. I virtually lived with him, yeah. And I shared the office with his office. So we did a lot of things together. And I was just a young man. I was then 24, 25, small boy.
What was he like?
Nkrumah was an ordinary human being, very Christian. He spoke his mind. He spoke the truth, so to speak. Yeah, he was very, very honest, extremely honest. Very nice man, very, very nice president. He could sit in his office and talk about life, And he loved art. He loved to watch films. We spoke a lot about nature, about the Creator, about natural things, about beautiful creation. We spoke a lot.
Nkrumah even introduced Chris to yoga, which the Ghanaian leader practiced as part of his daily routine.
He taught me yoga, and I loved it because almost each afternoon he would lock his door and stand on his head. He would stand on his head for some few minutes.
This
and I would do the
3
same.
FM.
No, I started copying him.
In public too, Nkrumah certainly was a charismatic leader. He championed Pan-Africanism and socialism and supported African liberation movements. He launched major development projects like the Great Volta Dam, but he had plenty of critics in Ghana too. And over the years, he became increasingly authoritarian. Hundreds of political opponents were locked up, often for years, without charge. He made the country a one-party state. He took on more powers and became president for life.
It may be that new African countries require strong government and firm leadership, but in Ghana, this is degenerating into police state rule and the idolatry of one man.
And crucially, he also moved Ghana closer to the communist bloc. The economy, too, started to struggle. There were several assassination attempts in the early 1960s.
Nkrumah needs, more than anything, to keep the loyalty of the Ghanaian army.
Ghana is passing through a revolutionary period. We cannot, under any circumstances, allow imperialists and new colonialists to interlock with traitors in our midst to deflect us from the path of duty and progress.
How worried was he, do you think?
So he was a human being. He had a wife and children, so definitely he had to protect himself. So he was worried.
And he was right to be worried. Senior figures in the Ghanaian army, the police and the civil service had started to plot to remove him, and it appears some had contacts with Western intelligence, particularly the CIA, who were no fans of Nkrumah and wanted him gone too.
This is
Any of the leaders who were trying to build up the African continent, were forcibly removed. He was aware that something similar could happen in Ghana, but the presidential guard were well trained, so it was very, very difficult to overthrow him when he was in Ghana.
But in February 1966, Nkrumah planned to go with a large government delegation via Moscow and China to North Vietnam as part of a peace mission to end the Vietnam War. The coup plotters saw an opportunity.
Anytime we flew out, I think it was at the back of his mind. Anything could happen. He had postponed that trip on 3 occasions, but he had to go. And then we went to Moscow, then to China. And that was when the coup came.
In Ghana, in just a matter of hours, the Ghanaian military and the police had seized control of the country. The only real resistance came from the presidential guard. The coup leader, General Nkrumah, later went on Ghanaian radio to explain.
One man has collected all power into his own hands with the pretentious claim that he enjoyed the unqualified and absolute support of the 7 million people of this country. This man was Kwame Nkrumah, Africa's #1 tyrant and dictator.
It was late
This
day,
3 FM.
getting to the night, that the message came. It was at the same time when we were getting ready to fly out to Hanoi, when the Chinese government officially informed him about the coup in Ghana.
What was Nkrumah's reaction to the news?
The question, when we talk about reaction, he didn't cry. He didn't shout. Nkrumah was a matured politician. He knew a lot of things. He knew this coup could happen.
What was your reaction?
I was worried about my wife. That was what was on my mind. But I didn't show it. There were no facilities for telephones.
This is
I was
3
just
FM.
dreaming in my own mind what was happening at home.
All traces of Nkrumah and his party, the Convention People's Party, are being removed. Portraits have been taken away from offices, his books withdrawn from shops, and his name has been deleted from street signs. A pile of rubble marks the spot where the statue of Kwame Nkrumah stood outside Parliament House. It was uprooted bodily by crane and pneumatic drills finished off the pedestals as crowds cheered. And there's no question about the feeling of release among all Ghanaians to whom I've spoken. And there is, of course, great jubilation at the return of political prisoners, 450 of whom were set free yesterday.
Back in China, the next question for Nkrumah and the delegation was where to go. They first got on a plane to Moscow. For Chris Hesse, it would be a memorable flight.
We're flying back.
Certainly Black Rasta Ghana's #1, Africa's finest. That BBC documentary will complete it another time. Well, my name Black Rasta. Catch me again tomorrow between 12:30 and 3. Until then, on behalf of my producer, one Lord Asori Batanda, and of course one Ewenam, Salam Nacho.